It's preparing still.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ayşe Gülçil from WWF Netherlands, and I welcome you to our latest live event organized with the support of Open Rivers program. This is the 15th live event we organize within our project to scale up barrier removal in Southeastern Europe, but also to share knowledge and insights to assist and inspire other practitioners to take an action and free their rivers. It's the first event we have from Sweden, and I'm very excited to introduce you Oscar Lundgren from Västerbotten County. Oscar is a geologist with a degree from Umeå University and have been working on river restoration for 5 years. He currently works at the County Administration Board for Västerbotten, mainly as a project manager for different projects, removing smaller dams from the flotation era, and also as a field coordinator in different river restoration projects. Hello, Oscar. Welcome, and
Hello.
thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your organization and how you got involved within the project and the barrier removals?
Of course, now I work, as you said, in the country administrative board of Västerbotten, and my unit, which I work in, we specialize mostly in environmental monitoring. We have people out there doing test fishing in different rivers, seeing what's there, but also even doing inventory of river per mussel and such. And also we have other people that are doing the classification of the different water bodies in Västerbotten. And then there is me, also a lot of some people with me that work with river restoration, but also with all these smaller migratory barriers. And for us, I think, being in a government organization, we have a lot of environmental goals that we're supposed to reach up to, and one of them is very connected to the living, or to the lakes and the rivers in the country, and for us, this is in our county. So that's mainly why we do what we do, because we do have to get the rivers up to a good, from like a moderate or a bad ecological status to a good ecological status, and also I think in the future we will work a lot towards the Article 9 in the restoration law that was in the EU. So that's why we do what we do. It's we also work a lot to try to other organization involved with river restoration, but since we have both the mussels and the platform, we do a lot of bigger projects by ourselves.
Fantastic. What a great work. And I think the weather is a little bit different today where you are.
It is, yeah.
Maybe Phoebus can help us to show where you are at the moment. Oh, yes.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Maybe Oscar, you can tell a little bit more about this specific place and how and why did you choose this dam to be removed?
We are in a tributary. It's called Yuxon. Hard to pronounce even for me because I'm not from the specific area. And it's a tributary to Vindelälven, which is one of our biggest rivers that has not been. We don't have like hydro. That's what makes this spot or this tributary interesting, because in Vindelälven, you do have salmon walking up there from the sea, and also we also have trout in this system. So it's Vindelälven has had a lot of focus during the past. We have restored a lot of the tributaries. Different organizations has been here, and now we have a couple of more old dams that we are focusing on to be able to open up the whole tributary of Yuxon.
Is this dam from the flotation era, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a dam built. I can elaborate. It's built on this dam was built in 1927, and the whole of Yuxon was started floating it in the beginning of the 20th century. So I think I read something from the when you had the cultural when we all do cultural evaluation of the site, and they started here, around the beginning of 20th century. And this dam, a specific dam, was built in the like around 1927, and so that's why it's very connected to the flotation area, as many of them are.
What is the history and purpose of those dams at the time? Hmm?
And no, the purpose was to be able to simulate like a high flow. I mean, before you had like one shot, they had the springtime when all snow melted, and they could get the logs and drive them down the waterway. But then they had to wait for the next spring to be able to do the same thing again to get the amount of water you need to drive timber down these small waterways. And when they built these dams, you could simulate usually like one or two more high flows during the season, which meant that you could get more productivity out of the waterway.
Oh,
So
okay.
so they build a lot of them. I think right now, our last evaluation, and it's the numbers are we have around 700 of those like old flotation dams that are abandoned in Västerbotten County, and around 350 of them are like definitive like connective barriers. While another under 300 are they're probably passable during different flows. Like in high flows, usually they can be passable, but they can differ a lot. And since they're very old, and here and mostly in Västerbotten, in most of Sweden, the flotation area, like in the 1970s, when you started using trucks instead, and you realized that it was much cheaper and easier, and then you build like a very extensive road meant that this extensive network of rivers that they used previously it got old, and then they just left it, and it's quite sad that they also left all these dams. I mean, because sometimes it's because of they wanted the level of the water level to be. I mean, a lot of them the dams were built, and they also like sink. I mean the level of many lakes are lower today than it used to be, because these dams were usually dug down in the ground quite a lot. So it's
Can
another
you, I know the weather is really not perfect, but can you also show the place where the dam is? Can you also
yeah.
show us maybe?
Like we've come quite a lot. We've been here we've been here all week, and today we removed the spillways and took them. We will punish them with our hydraulic hammer. So now it looks like this. We haven't restored the waterway yet. As you can see, there's a lot of rocks. If I show you upstreams, we start to build a little meandering channel that will come down here. And this, you can see that this before we were here, it was just like a very dug out channel with very big walls of rocks on either side. So we're trying here also to get the lateral, both get the longitudinal and the lateral floodplain together. So that's why that's trying here, but also get the elevation of the lake right, so that you get water here all year round, but also like when the high flow comes in, you get a lot of water that can spill out to the sides, and we can get get the lateral floodplain activated, but also have the fishes be able to migrate down there. Now it looks like a bit of it's always a bit of a mess when you are trying to sort things out, but in a week it would be perfect.
Okay, really nice location, and all this forest around. It's beautiful. Did you also perform any pre-demolition surveys before this removal? Like, what kind of survey did you perform? Did you like for fish, for hydraulic, etc.?
There've been some test fishing, in lack of a better English word, downstreams, where we know what kind of species are in the water. And when this dam, which is very high up, we did a lot of we check a lot of old maps and older like orthophotos a long time ago, so we can see what the historical level of the lake was. We're also around in the area to see how the geology is around the specific site, so we can know how did it look like before we came and well, dug this made the river into a dug channel. And also, so most of our survey has been done around elevation to get that right. Other than that, we haven't done that much, but it's usually, and we also do like a lot of some with the RTK GPS to get the elevation right, so we can also show it's I think that's the most important part. Also to see the old maps, but also you can usually get a feel of it when you're here during the different flow, during the low flow, during high flows, and then you can usually get a feel of how the water how it should look like if you get the natural river, the natural outlet of the lake instead of the dug channel.
Amazing. What a work. Did you also do some habitat modification, restoration, like any of the additional work that have you done for the habitat?
There will be. We're not there yet. So on the side, but we will. We usually, I can show my camera as well. We usually use a lot of the. Well, since we have to remove a lot of trees when we now here you can see where the channel will be, and you can see the excavator on the right, and over there we used to be quite a big wall, as you can see on the picture that we had on the presentation. Also, there's a lot of, you can see straight in front of me, and those that are like old. They're usually like old timber, usually from pine, that they used to when they build the dams. And there's a lot of like old mosses. We have a moss that we use in another project. That we have they're called microscapania and other mosses that like to live on those kind of timbers. So we usually place them in like in connection to the water. But we also put out a lot of. Since we will have a lot of trees over, we usually put them both in the blood plains, but also some in the water for protection for the fish, and also to pick up, like to slow down the water so the different nutrients can get stuck and get eaten by all the different insects. And also we will do, depending on how much we have. I mean, where I'm here, this probably like 500-600 meters downwards from the dam. We should do some restoration, but we won't. In this project I'm working on right now, we don't have the time or the money. This is just for the dam removal, but we usually restore around 50 to 100 meters downstream of the barrier, just to get the hydrology right. Otherwise, it can get a bit messy. Like you have to, when you get the high flows, you want the water to be able to spread out. So and get the rocks in, so you get the different habitats, but also to slow water down. So we will do a lot of some river restoration downstream of the dam, but also there's a lot of work going on upstream. So there will be a lot of restoration going on, but another project can come, it's me or someone other, and do the rest of the waterway down to the next lake.
Okay. So you actually mentioned a little bit of challenges. I was going to ask you what kind of challenges you face during the removal, like anything unexpected happened, or could you maybe highlight some of the lessons learned from this process? What are the things you could share with us?
I think this, which is nice, this is probably one of the removals I've done. This is the 4th dam we're on this year. And I think this has probably been the best one, maybe because we came really prepared from all the other failures we had before. But no, I think here I've had a really good to get out to the landowners quite like a long time before we start the actual work, so they can. I'm gonna chew on it for a time, because usually when it comes to dams, in my experience, it feels like And it feels like it's always like that. They get a bit panicked. Will come and say, "Oh, we want to remove this dam," and they say, "Oh, we use it as we use it as a bridge to walk over the waterway," and they're so used to how it looks like. So usually it takes some time to come with your idea and let that sink in from the especially the landowners, but also the general public. But then always they've been here a couple of times and they think it looks nice. So that was a good thing. Other than that, it's been here. We've had a lot of issues with. We had to work a lot with different timber. Like we had so many trees that we had to take down because the walls that used to be here was so much bigger than we thought. So that took a lot of time. And also we learned from our last. We did a dam before, which is in the northern part of the country, and then we used a lot of with hydraulic hammer, and we realized how easy it is with using that. But here the concrete was quite easy to take apart. So that was we saved a lot of time with that. No, but other than that, I think this removal has been gone as we thought, and also we're working a lot. I think one of the things we're going to work with the next couple of days is here they used a lot of explosives when they cleared up the channel, which means that we have a lot of very ugly stones or rocks or boulders that we need to sort out. Usually when you do a restoration, I think it's important to get I said like the aesthetics right as well, so you don't have just pointy, weird-looking stones everywhere. So we will take a lot of rocks from land because there's quite a bouldery moraine all around here. So then we usually take some replacements blocks and try to get it so we can get so it looks like so it looks like after the. So it looked better than to have all these pointy rocks. But one of the big challenges will be to get rocks that can simulate. Because here before they probably had, I think when you look at all the rocks that have been blown apart, probably there were rocks that were as big as me, like about 2 meters tall and very, very big. So that will be one of the big challenges we will face in the next couple of days to simulate that kind of habitat.
You need to create actually a habitat after all these explosions, and then that's another work and that's another time, and then you have to wait for the results from that work as well. That's what you wanted to point out, right? And also you mentioned about the landowners. I just want to ask you about that. Is it like landowners living close by and they actually get some benefit from the dam before, or how did you manage that process? Because it's kind of interesting that we also face within other projects.
Yeah, here one of the landowners he lives just very, very close by. The other ones I think live further south in the south of Sweden. But but all of them have been here when we've done it. And no, they were a bit. I think the flotation area has a bit of a. One of the landowners called Göte, he's about, I think he's 88, so he's old. But his father was here and actually was building this dam, so it has a bit of a connection to him. In that way, and that I think it's hard for them also to which I really respect to realize that we have to because how do you call it? This dam was we also have to say that this dam was in very bad shape. The whole lake of Strutdammen would probably, if we would wait another couple of 5 to 10 years, then you probably or if you would have like a 500-year rain coming down here. Then probably the dam would be no more, and the lake would be almost empty. So in that case, we had a very good case when we had all the landowners here to actually remove it, and they realized the importance of what we could do. And I do think here that they will. Hopefully, there are trout in the system. It's further down, but hopefully, maybe not in. Maybe during my lifetime, maybe there will be trout coming up here. So then they will definitely get the benefits of the dam removal, but also that they now have like a threshold which we built, like the new threshold we built upstream from the dam, which will keep the level like more permanent. When you have a dam as Strutdammen, which was super leaky, the amplitude of the the lake was very. I mean, it could probably differ for like from like a meter during. If you had high flows, it gets really high. If you have low flows, it gets really low. So now I think we've steadied the whole area a little bit, which I think should. I mean, I think they at the end of the day, I think a lot of landowners think that it's a good thing also for them. If they're doing forestry or whatever, you don't have the same. You get a more the
More
regulation of
connected.
the lake.
They
Yeah,
are more
more
connected
yeah.
to the landscape. They are more connected to their past, and of course, for them, it's much more relevant what you do than maybe the other general
Yeah.
public. But also, like you mentioned about the benefits, that was also my next question. So I was just wondering. What kind of benefits that you expect from this removal? Fish, water quality, safety, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you can
I, I
highlight
think
this as
here,
well.
yeah, I think if you look at the short term, I would say safety, definitely. I mean, it's a big lake. I think that the Strutdammen Lake, I think it's about between 2 and 3 square kilometers, so it's quite big. So we would yeah, it would be bad if it get out of water. But also, I think in the if you look at the longer time frame, like 50 to 100 years, then definitely like wildlife and fish. I mean, beavers, otters, and all the fish that can now wander between the two lakes here. So I think that is definitely gonna give the whole system a little boost, I think. But and also uh, like for environmental, the lateral connectivity of the getting the floodplains back in the game. I think is a big part.
Yeah. So it takes time to see the results, of course, but it's very important that
Definitely.
you
But I
think
think
about all this.
next year, I think it will look very different from when it does now. Because usually it takes time to get the proper benefit. But I think usually in this type of environment, we'll at least have some grass growing here in the floodplains next year, which will make it look easier on the eye.
Yeah, definitely. I hope we can connect again and see how the changes are.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about the public, but did you also connect with the public and how this project received by public?
This particular project was received quite well. It's I think it's the same as most of the dam removals we do. It's always in the beginning. When we start our consultation, we usually have consultation meetings in the villages around, and when you go there the first time, you're just a person that works for the government that wants to do something that no one really knows what you're doing, and there can be a bit of there's usually a lot of frowns, but at the end of the day, I think when they realize that what we're doing is we're not we want to help, and we also like in the case of these dams, they don't really have a function. Since they're in bad shape, this dam wasn't used as a bridge. Then they usually realize that it's better to remove it. Otherwise, I mean, someone else will have to do it when the accident happened. If the dam breaches, then someone has to do it then. And then it's a lot harder to do than to come and act like preemptive. So I think the arguments for the public are usually mostly about safety than it is for actual wildlife. I mean, there are some people that really like what we do because they want to see fish up here, but most of them usually get the argument about the safety. I think usually works best, more rational. Well, I think that well, it's important that we connect with the public and talk a lot about it. And well, here I am. They were okay with this one, and usually I think it's hard to explain, but usually it's once they realize you're not a mad, like when you come there saying that we're going to remove this dam, then people can look at you like you're a mad person, like they don't know how it will look like after, and they're a bit worried. But once you show some pictures of things you've done before that are similar, and they get to come out here and visit us on site, and then usually we get I think the opinion. I mean, in every time for me, it has changed. So it's a bit of yeah.
how long does it take to get this public acceptance in the process?
I think
Like, takes long?
it's hard to say. Sometimes it's just one meeting. Sometimes you have to meet them, 5 or 6 times for them to. I think it's also like when they realize you're a person. It's always that not just the one. I mean, we all want the same thing, right? We want the river to stay. We want fish in the river, and we want the water quality to be good, and we want the lake upstream to have water in it. I mean, it's quite simple actually. And when they realize that it's not rocket science what we do, then they usually think that it's a good thing. But it's very different. It depends really on who you're talking to. I think it's usually with the people that live close to the actual object. When you have people like Jette here, where we had he comes here, he can come here almost every day and talk to us, and it's much easier for him to understand because he has some feeling of the land. Sometimes we have landowners that live like maybe in the south of Sweden, and they just own a lot of forests up in the northern part, and then it can be harder because they don't really it's hard to get them out on site. But I think that's usually the best thing, to get them out by the dam to show them, then they can see what we're actually doing, what we want to do, and then it's like then they can touch it, and then it's easier to understand that it's possible to make something that we all can benefit from.
Fantastic. What a work. I mean, there's a lot of things to do, of course, but at the end, nature wins. So it's a great project you did. Really, congratulations. And before I come to the last question, I think, of course, we can wrap up. If we don't have any questions on our chat box, then we can continue with the last question. That is, what are the next steps? Are there more barriers that you would like to remove in your region? And have you already made any plans to remove any of those? What's the next steps?
And we have a couple of plans. The project I'm working in now, we're removing 19 of the old flotation dams. It's a project founded by the European Agriculture and Fisheries Fund. And also we have another project from there which will start next year. We will remove, and this project I'm working on is for 3 years. So it's 19 dams during 3 years, and this year we will do 7 dams. And next year we have another project that also starts. We will remove 8 dams in a lake called Lycksele, which is also here in the northern part. It's around a town called Lycksele, and so we have a lot of things to do. Like I said before, we have a lot of dams, which is it's easy, some of them, which is the good thing is that we can pick a lot of them that aren't that controversial, which means that we can get quite a lot of do a lot of things quite fast. But sooner or later we will have to start picking the harder apples. Now we're taking, it feels like now we're taking the easiest parts first, and then we will start getting to harder and harder cases. So no, now we're doing this dam, and I think we will finish on Friday, hopefully, or Thursday. We will be done here, and then we will move downstreams to also dam in Juxon, which is the last dam in Juxon. And after that, we will have the whole tributary open, and then I will finish my season in October with the dam. It's closer to it's in Bjurholm, which is it's another part of Västerbotten County. So we have it's a hectic season when we're out here trying to do as much as possible in the small time frame, because then the winter, when in middle of October, then the winter comes and the snow starts falling, and then we all want to be inside.
Of course, that's the country that you should be relaxing in the winter time.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's so nice to hear that. I think that you also connect with other projects and you support with other funding programs, because it's not possible to do it in one project. So you have to also make sure that you complement and you also support from the other sources. And most importantly, it takes time and step by step and baby steps, but then you come to the conclusion, and it's really amazing work you have done. I really would like to thank you to join us today. It was really a pleasure talking to you. I would like to wrap up. If you have anything to add, of course, you are welcome to add. Otherwise, I'm going to close the meeting by thanking you all joining us here, all the audience. Is there anything, Oscar, would you like to add?
No, I think we got there. I think you could say, like you said, that I think that's a very, very good point to make, that it's so important to get the different projects, like to work in different projects, because then you will get like synergy effects from the different projects, and they can help each other, especially when we all know a lot of this work comes to finding money to actually do actual like dam removals, and I think that's a very important point to make, that there are some really good spots or places out there we can actually find money to do the projects and then get the synergy effect from them, which is it's super nice.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I think we learned a lot. And of course, if anyone wants to know more, they can reach us. And you can also follow us on social media, get in touch, let us know about your region. And please follow us also with the live events. And we have more regions, of course, to show you. And Oscar, thank you very much for joining us today. I would like to say goodbye to everyone, and thanks for joining again.